It's time for another Dice Tower review with the Board Game Knights.
Hello, welcome with the Board Game Knights. I'm Ales James.
I'm Christoph Schrader.
And I'm Sam Gillespie.
And today we're going to be looking at Summoner Wars, a game by Colby Dowk and published by Plaid Hat Games.
We're having a look at this in anticipation for the new Alliances Master Set. So if you're not familiar with the game, let's have a quick look at it.
Weird camera!
A game of Summoner Wars features two summoners trying to compete. If you defeat the other player's summoner, you win the game. As simple as that.
Very simple. So you'll notice on every single one of the cards you have, your summoner, your commons, champions, anything like that, they all got a couple numbers on them. All they simply mean is the largest number, how many dice they roll when they attack, the number of hits they take before they are removed from the board, and whether or not they attack melee, so directly orthogonally adjacent, or ranged a couple of spaces away from them.
Also, each card unit has a different ability down the bottom there, and that ability pretty much breaks the general rules of the game, which whether it be movement, attacking, rolling dice, anything that you can think of, Plaid Hat have thought of it and put it in there as a different event, which adds all the replayability of the game.
An interesting mechanic in the game is the way that they use magic. You'll need magic to summon monsters or use special abilities, and every time you defeat an enemy unit, you'll take it off the board and add it to your magic pile, and at the end of your turn you can also choose to discard more cards to add to your magic pool.
So then at the start of your next turn, you'll draw back up to 5 cards in your hand. Next, you'll summon cards onto the board using the magic you played in the last turn. So I could put down this unit here for a cost of 1 magic, put it then next to a wall, and spend the magic into my discard pile. Then I can play event cards.
So the event cards, most of the event cards are all like this. They'll have a picture of your summoner and they've got a different event, which again breaks the rules generally for a turn, gives other things the bonuses or abilities. Walls are also classed as event cards, and you have another 2 in the game. So the more walls that you place out, the more locations you can summon to.
Cool. Then you're allowed to move 3 units up to 2 spaces each, like so, and then you attack with up to 3 units that can attack from either ranged or melee distances.
All ranged units attack from distance 3, and then at the end of your turn, you'll take your hand, you'll discard magic, and then your opponent will have a turn. And this will go until one player's summoner dies. So combat is resolved by taking your attack strength, so for instance this Smasher has an attack of 2, and rolling that number of dice. Every number that's a 3 or greater is a hit, so I rolled a 4 and a 6, so that's 2 hits. So I put 2 wound markers on the enemy. This one has 2 health, which means that he dies and gets added to my magic pile.
Very cool.
For a ranged attack, you can attack up to 3 spaces, so it can be close, or it can be up to 3. So attack of 1, at the same odds.
It's a miss.
It's a complete miss.
The cool thing though is the archer has an ability called Fast Shot. His special ability is that he can attack up to distance 4 away. So then I can use the archer to roll 1 die, and it's a hit.
And
so
this one dies.
Amazing. Add to my magic pile.
Oh yes, that's I'm sorry.
Obviously on a different turn.
So now, I absolutely love this game, Summoner Wars. It has this really good sense of tactics about it rather than the strategy aspect. Like a lot of games, you're sort of sitting there predicting what's going to happen in future turns. This one, you can sort of maybe see 1 or 2 turns ahead, but there's so much stuff that can happen with when your opponent's got a handful of cards that you don't know what's going to happen. So you just sort of think about where your positioning is. So it becomes a very tactical sort of game with where you move everything around. And it's like, it's a more tactical game than chess, but less strategic, is sort of the way to think of it, in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. I quite enjoyed how this game is more physical in terms of the placement of everything around the board, rather than, like you said, with strategizing. So you've got a very small hand of cards, 5 of them, and the whole point of it, the big mechanic in this game that I quite enjoy is the magic. So whether or not you keep the cards in your hand, or at the end of your turn, you're going to be throwing them away, and keep that 1 card in your hand that you can summon using those ones you just threw away.
Yeah, and then there's other cards, there are some factions that even may attack the 1 card left in your hand, because you don't draw out that new hand at the end of the turn, which means that you're holding onto good cards, which means that there's so much in this game that is just subtle and clever, and there's mechanics in there that just seem to be very logical and straightforward, but they actually have so much balance involved inside them that you just don't really see until you've played it a few times.
Yeah, that's right. No, my first game, where you start looking at different combinations, so the rule sets, because it's so simple, everything adds to everything, so you've got movement, attacking, summoning, events, and all that, but every single rule they've added in, or every ability on all of the characters affects something in one of those fields, and if you can get it next to other characters which either negate effects or combo onto effects, you start to see the combos. You're like, if I get that card with that card and then play this card and kill that guy, and then your playing goes really well until they stuff that up.
Oh, yeah.
And then they do the opposite of what they were going to do to you. But the playability with 16 factions, the 8 second summoners are out at the moment, so there's going to be another 8 of those, and then there's the 8 alliance
So
factions.
replayability is huge in that way, just by what you can play and what they play against, so the combinations of the two. But then on top of that, the accessibility, like it's such an easy game to learn.
Yeah.
You can put this all down in front of someone and look at every faction has this same little setup card, which on one side has
Your starting positions.
placement on the board, so where you put everything even tells you what they are.
Yeah, so that saves you about 15 minutes of going,
Yeah.
I'll put one there, you put one there.
And it also takes away any like setup, so maybe like preempting setup. It's all
Yeah.
defined.
It's all defined, yeah.
It's all defined. And then on the other side, there's basically all of the rules there. The turn phase summary and a summary of how many cards are in each deck, so you can check and everything. But you can learn the game off the back of that and teach it off the back of that.
And yet, even with that, there's so much room to move within the game because of all those additional expansions and the things like mercenaries and second summoners. You can actually start customizing your deck. So you take your starting deck and you go, you know what, I really don't like shamans in this deck or something like that. And you can remove a couple of them and then replace them with some other ones or something from those other factions.
From mercenaries, yes.
But Second Summoners also introduces even more individual
for
units
each faction. Yes.
And then reinforcements, and when alliances come out, it's going to be combinations of factions of which you can take
So it's just becoming even more colourful.
reinforcements from any of the factions, like the Fallen Phoenix, which will be the Phoenix Elves and the Fallen Kingdom.
But that's,
you can take units from either and put them into that.
so it's got customization, but not too much. It's not like a collectible card game.
It's that rabbit hole aspect where they just taunt you with a little straightforward, simple game, and then they go, you can just change one or two things, and then another few things, and then suddenly you're building your own decks and customizing it to the way that you like.
The Master Set is the copy that I have. I actually got a second-hand copy online on eBay that someone was giving up. I don't know why. But it came
Monsters.
with 2 sets of boards and 12 of the factions, and I'm pretty much done after that. But,
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's more than enough for most people. But if you really get into it, there's even more to go.
oh yeah.
I have absolutely everything. Except all the dice. Colby, bring all the dice out.
Yeah, well, I think that's another thing we should mention about this game is the dice. This game does have a lot of dice rolling in it,
Yeah.
and that's the primary mechanic for the combat, and that's
Yes.
very central in this game, the combat.
You roll dice.
Yeah, it's not about units dealing more damage than one another, it's that they roll more dice, and when you roll the dice, it's about the success of those
nice
dice,
roll.
and they hit. That actually is a nice roll. That's 3 out of 4 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not really trying to send out like a massively overpowered unit to destroy them all on your own. It's more about the tactics of where you move your units and when, and then when you place your walls for either defense
Yeah.
or then to surprise summon a unit next to your wall.
There's enough randomness that you never feel like someone who's got more experience is going to just completely decimate you every single
No,
time.
that's right.
Yeah.
But if you're good at tactics, you're probably going to get that edge, which is
Oh,
nice.
sure.
Which is that nice in between.
Very,
Yeah,
very
out of all of the decks, all of the 16 factions, and the 8 second summoners that they've done so far, and the upcoming alliances, the amount of playtesting that they do in this game is absolutely ridiculous. It's well done. So a tip of the plaid hat to Colby and the team. Very well done. I believe there's one card that they failed, which was the that they recalled, which is the Thor Call card, which they
which I have a copy of.
yeah, which they corrected the text and then sent them out. So out of hundreds of cards, they've made one mistake that they admit. Everything else is extremely balanced. You don't need to build your deck, and if you do, it's not necessarily more powerful than any base
Yeah,
deck.
it's just different. They're not. Yeah, like you said, they're not necessarily better.
You
they're
don't even
just
need to.
different.
Yeah. Now another one is 3 to 4 players. So this game is a two-player game at its heart, but there are rule variants that allow for 4 players, and I think 3 players if one player plays as 2 different factions.
That's
Which
how
is
that's how I
messy.
first played the game as a 4-player game.
And it does kind of drag, and there is some. Basically, you put 2 boards next to each other, and they sort of loop around. So if you go on this side to that side, so it's like it's on this giant cylinder.
Hello, average person. Are you sick and tired of getting your Summoner Wars boards to try and wrap around to get the concept? Having trouble getting your cards to stay where they want to stay? It's frustrating, I know. Try new Cylinder Wars! Okay, this is Cylinder Wars! Cylinder Wars! Brand new concept in the innovative designs for Summoner Wars Upgrade.
Upgrade!
Do you have trouble? You do have trouble. Look at this line. This represents the line from the left side to the right side. But as you can see, it's Cylinder Wars.
Cylinder Wars!
You can simply move a piece 1 space. It's amazing. It's new. It's on Kickstarter now. Get it while it's hot. And here we have our actual prototype in use. Real fun, real smiles, real cylinders.
Now it's my turn.
Cylinder Wars! Happily anticipate your copy of Cylinder Wars coming out soon on Kickstarter. Possibly never.
So it really slows down the game, I find.
Yeah, only compared to the base game. So the base game with 2 players, it works extremely well.
Yeah.
But with a 3-player game or a 4-player game, there's a little bit more downtime. Still good because, like I said, that was your first game.
It was my first game. I loved it so much. I bought it. It was great.
And you're still winning. But yeah, so it does drag a little bit. But yeah, if you really love the game and everyone knows how to play it,
It's good that it has the ability to do that, but I still think of it as a 2-player game. I play it as a 2-player game and enjoy it for what it is in that way.
There's also, I believe, an app for it for iOS where you can actually play Summoner Wars.
yeah. So there's an app released by Playdeck and Plaid Hat, and you can get it for free, and you can play as the Phoenix Elves for free against I think 10 other AIs.
Wow.
Or 8 or 10 AIs, and
Oh, so you don't, it's AIs. I don't know about this.
No, and if you purchase that, you can also purchase upgrades, and you can play as the other factions.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can play online. You can customize your deck.
Cool.
So you can swap in and out all the cards.
Yeah, but
it's good.
In conclusion, for me, it's a very easy to access game, really high replay value, and it's got enough tactics in there that you can chew on it a little bit and have a lot of fun with it, but it's not daunting enough that you sit down and spend an hour learning it and mastering it. It's really accessible.
And then put it away and never play it again. No.
Exactly. It's something you can play a lot with lots of different people and have a lot of fun with it, which is very key in a game.
I think just every time you pull it out and play it again, you fall in love with it again. Because you're like, oh, I haven't played that for a while. Okay, I'll play it, and then play it. And I'm like, oh, I remember this game. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's cool.
So as you can clearly see, the big problem with Summoner Wars is that there's no variety in the different factions that you can choose from. I mean, like, when you look at it, there's only 1, 2, 3...
So there's 16 factions, 8 of which have already got a second summoner, making 24 available summoners at the moment. There is 8 second summoners still to be made, and there is an upcoming master set, which is the Alliance's master set, which has got another 8 factions, which will be combined factions of the 2.
So we really highly recommend that you go play Summoner Wars. It's a wonderful game, and we'll see you next time here at the Board Game Nights.
16 factions!
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Okay.
Just do the whole thing like that.
Good?
Holding my
Alright, let's
friends
give it a go.
together.
Arms around. Come on.
I hope it's recorded.
This one. No. Alright.
He wants to hug someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we're ready. Let's do energy. We're good.
We're not going to do the whole thing like this.
Yeah, no, let's give it a go.
No.
Well, no, let's give it a go. We'll see how it goes. We'll cut this. We won't
Family
give this.
friendly.
We won't give this at all. It's totally family friendly. Woo! Energy! Hello and welcome to the Board Game Nights. I'm AS James.
I'm not comfortable with this.